Hello, sweeties potatoes. With the world being the way that it's been for the past year and for who knows how long, I've been reflecting more so than usual on meaningful relationships. The biggest realization that I've had is that it's not so much about the physical time you spent with another human or even exchange of words or information. I define connection as the energy that exists between people when they feel seen, heard, and valued, when they can give and receive without judgment, and when they derive sustenance and strength from the relationship. Human connection works to its fullest extent when we're being true to who we are. The more we love and accept ourselves, including how beautifully imperfect we all are in our own wonderfully unique ways, the more we're able to shine light on and share our darkest fears and deepest insecurities, the more we're able to lean into the power of who we are, the more we're able to build deeper and more meaningful connections. Now, isn't this a beautiful cycle? For the final week of our How to Unpotato Your Life challenge, I can't believe it's the last week already, let's talk about how to build stronger connections and deepen existing relationships. Let's bring it all in. Do a little hug in the beginning of the video. Welcome all you new potatoes who've joined the fam since the beginning of this series. I'm grateful that you guys have chosen to be here, and I'm excited to venture down this journey of becoming our best selves together. Now, how to build deeper human connections. To start, let's give our views on relationships 5 little reframes. Number 1, I used to think a real friend was someone you talk to every week. Now I see a real friend as someone who's there for you even if you haven't talked in a year. Deep connection can exist without frequent communication. Numero dos. Just like how there are different seasons in our life, there's different seasons in our friendships and relationships as well. San. It's okay to let go of relationships that are bringing negative energy into your life. But that being said, the way in which you choose to let go of the relationship is up to you, whether you want to gracefully let it go or not so gracefully let it go. It's like Han Seo-jun and Kang Seo-jun. Which kind of a friend will you be? And how will you react? Number 4, across the span of decades that we're gonna be on this earth, it can seem very long, but also very short, but that is not the point. It's natural and normal that we won't feel a deep connection with every single person that we meet, and that's totally fine. Number 5, whether you prefer 4 quarters to 100 pennies or vice versa, there's no shame in our friend making game. Both are totally okay, and there is no right or wrong way to make friends. Now that we reframe what friendships mean, let's take stock of the relationships and friendships you currently have in your life. As always, it'll be helpful to understand where we currently are so that we can get where we want to be. Feel free to take some time, pause this video or pause the questions as we're going through them. The first thing, list out who you've been spending time with, either virtually or physically. Every single person, mom, dad, cat, pet, dog, anything. Take a look at this list and ask yourself, who do you enjoy being around the most? Who supports you the most? And for each person, next to their name, give them a plus if after hanging out, they make you feel more energized, whole, and full, and a minus sign for those who make you feel drained, unseen, and misunderstood. Looking at the same list of friends, are you really close to them, or do you spend more time talking about more surface topics or gossiping about other people? And how well do you actually know them? Their dreams, hopes, fears, etc., and do they know yours? After you answer these questions, which relationships do you want to spend more time building, and which friendships do you want to establish a deeper connection? As always, the first step is identifying. The second step is rubber to road and go. Taking action, putting what we identified into practice. Oh yeah, okay, so here is a week in my life partaking in one act of social wellness activity for myself every single day of the week. So far, what I've wrote is, dearest mommy, You are my dreamboat in Chinese. Thank you for loving me, feeding me, and supporting me. That took way too long. Okay, I'm just gonna write the rest in English. All filled up. It's quite interesting, this experience of writing someone. The power of sitting down and putting pen to paper. You're just in such a different mindset that you're so much more focused. With writing, you have to be a lot more intentional with what you're writing. You need to think of things that you want to write and words that you want to say to properly convey everything that's going on in your head and everything that's going on in your heart. And to be able to do that, the fact that I caught myself smiling throughout writing this letter, when you really sit down to give thanks and to write your heartfelt feelings, it's such a wonderful thing. And this card is for my mother, so I won't read any more of it. Doing this makes me want to write one for my dad, makes me want to write one for my cousins, makes me want to write one for my friends, and I might just very well do that. But until then, I gotta go to work. Good, how are you? Is the road blocked? Thank you so much, I'll be right there. Conversations and communication are both essential ingredients of connectedness, and they go hand in hand. Although you can definitely do a group hang, one-on-one time naturally invites intimacy, empathy, and openness. And you guys can also ask each other questions you may not feel comfortable asking in a bigger group setting. I'm honestly not the best at keeping in touch with friends over text, so getting FaceTime is always precious to me and very much appreciated, especially under the current circumstances. Wash my hands first. My heart is so full. For those of you guys who are a lot more introverted, can probably relate. You can go for weeks at a time without talking to a single person and you'll be totally fine. And I think for me, just talking to my coworkers, talking to my team, even if it's remotely, that to me is enough socializing. So I don't really proactively put a lot of these meals, regardless if it's virtual or digital, onto my calendar. But every time after I go out and have a meal and catch up with friends, I ask myself why I don't do it more, because it's so nourishing for the soul, it's so nourishing for my brain, it's so nourishing just to be able to share your heartfelt feelings, share your fears, share your insecurities, share your dreams with one another, and to be able to relate to one another. At the foundation of it all is making time, blocking off time, putting it on your calendar, and being proactive with choosing to show up when you guys decide to show up and meet. Be there, be fully present. It's a beautiful thing. Alrighty. Can sleep like a happy baby, come on. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. I've been incorporating conversation cards into my social interactions, be it this deck, New York Times 36 questions that lead to love. You don't need to do this with a lover, you can do this with a friend as well, and we're not really strangers. Asking the right questions to foster more vulnerable relationships is one way to feel seen, accepted, and less lonely. These questions that go below the surface help to create more meaningful connections. When we're willing to be open with our pain and tell our story with our whole heart, not only do we promote personal growth and healing, we're also encouraging others to do the same, and that's a beautiful basis for a friendship. It's like setting a culture of vulnerability. If you open up, you'll give others the permission and courage to open up as well. So this being in a card and game format also helps put everyone on equal footing. Like we said, it's like a permission slip for you to share openly and be vulnerable. And if this seems too intimidating for you to start, you can start with asking yourself these questions. Journal about them, and then after you feel more comfortable and confident, start asking your friends. Hi friends, I haven't talked to my dad in a while and I really miss him. As many of you guys can probably relate, I haven't seen my dad all of 2020. I don't know when the next time I'm gonna see him is, and I really miss him, so let's call him. Hello.
Hello，
你好。
你那边很冷吗？要不然怎么戴那个帽子？
对啊，我头发也乱乱的，所以戴帽子比较 smooth。我昨天第一次吃那个 eel unagi。eel 是那个海蛇是吗？
鳗鱼啦。海蛇，哪里有那么多海蛇让你吃？海蛇。
鳗鱼。
鳗鱼啦。
我有问题。
什么问题？那你意思是说，怎么样可以跨出这个 first step？
对啊，就是像 take the first step 是一个 example。你不想这些事情？
不是不想啦，这个东西
就是不可以 force。
对，这个东西缘起则聚。
什么意思？
因缘到了，因缘起来了 ，OK， 你自然就会聚在一起。缘尽则散，缘分缘分没有了就会散掉了。要随缘，懂不懂？
随缘 ，go with the flow。
对，你不可以 against 它。
这也很重要。很多我这种年纪的人会问，就是他们就会说，哦，那你就坐在那里什么都不做吗？
当然不是啊，你不做，天上会掉馅饼来给你吗？
所以还是要好好做事，可是就不要太 attach。
对，人家说机会都是留给准备好的人。
机会都是留给准备好的人，对。你像老子，你像 Confucius。
那我这个要留长一点。
好。
OK。
Love you.
OK， 爱你。Love you.
Bye bye.
OK，good night.
Have a nice lunch and good dinner.
这样笑笑的睡觉，就会睡得很好。哎，这样吧。
好。拜拜，谢谢。
OK。
拜拜。
拜拜。
Dad dropped some wisdom. Everything he said, 100. Alrighty, time to go to bed. How many of us have been binging shows and movies since the start of lockdown last year? Instead of doing it by yourself, have a large party with a friend or friends using extensions like Teleparty or just starting whatever you're watching at the same time. Although you're not actually conversing, you're intentionally and proactively making time for human connection, being present and spending a version or a dialect of quality time together, which is quality activities. For the last and final day, I will talk through this one because I don't really like recording conversations like these. It is having deeper conversations that may be challenging, sharing openly your perspectives in a very respectful way, listening to what the other person is saying and responding with kindness. No matter what kind of conversations you're having, whether it's about the state of the world, whether it's about your relationship, whether it's about anything, when you're having difficult conversations and you open up, you let your guard down, it gives the other party permission to open up and to let their guard down as well. And I think that is actually how you have good conversations, and that's how you build deeper connections. When both people's guards are down, when both people are able to share what's in their mind and in their heart as openly and as transparently as they can, that is where the magic happens. I really do believe that at the core of all of this is not being afraid to be vulnerable, and at the same time, while you're vulnerable and while you realize someone else being vulnerable, to treat them with kindness and empathy, even if what they're saying may not resonate fully with you. And I think that's the last reframe, the reframe number 6 that I want to talk about briefly, and we can get very deep into it in like a future video, is that just because what you believe in is different from someone else doesn't mean that you guys aren't friends, and doesn't mean that you guys can't be friends. This has been a wonderful week, and with that, hug. Hug, 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 hug. That was a long hug. Another hug. Oh yeah. Okay. See you guys in next week's video, where we'll be talking about how to build a good relationship with